Hello everybody, and welcome back to All the Mods 10. In the previous episode, we crafted the pulsating black hole, which is now here in our trophy room along with our other items needed for the All the Mods star. Speaking of which, we are getting super close to actually being able to craft the All the Mods star. So today we're just gonna go ahead and figure out what we need for the dimensional seed. This one's going to be pretty easy compared to the other ones. We just need a lot of these condensed blocks, and we also just need to craft these miniature exit portals. So if you're excited to get started with the dimensional seed, hit the like button and subscribe. It helps the channel out a ton and lets me know that you guys are interested in these videos. If you want to go one step further, why not consider becoming a channel member? It's the best way to support me directly, and you get access to all of these videos early. So to craft the dimensional seed, we're going to need to make a few of these condensed blocks. So in total, we're going to need 531,441 netherrack, 531,441 dirt, 59,049 obsidian, 59,049 endstone, 6,561 emeralds, and 6,561 diamonds. So let's start off by checking to see how many diamonds we have. We already have 3,660 in the storage. We also have some diamond essence from mystical agriculture, so we should be able to get some of these down into more diamonds. Let's see here. We now have... what happened to those? I think they just completely disappeared. I have a void upgrade on my drawer. That's going to be an issue, I think. And I think I should probably check my other drawers as well, because a lot of these ones have void upgrades as well. We're also going to need 500,000 dirt, so I'll probably need to add another diamond upgrade or two on this. Let's see here. How much does one diamond upgrade get us to? 1.2 million. Okay, not too bad. And I don't actually have a drawer for endstone right now, so I'll just add a new one here. Netherrack, we're also going to need 500,000 for. We'll also need 500,000 netherrack. We're going to need a little more obsidian as well. And I think that covers these 4 materials. And they should actually be super easy to farm as well, because we can actually get all 4 of those with our quarry bees. So for example, I have this obsidian bee set up inside of this hive here. So if I just use my time wand, I should be able to speed it up quite a bit. I'll probably want to add some more obsidian bees, but I think that's going pretty good right now. And I'll just go ahead and breed up some more quarry bees, and we can speed that up as well. And I forgot that quarry bees can't actually breed amongst themselves. We actually need to combine a chocolate mining bee with a digger bee, and that should begin to produce quarry bees. Here we go. Alright, so I've added the upgrades that we actually need here. So we have dirt, netherrack, as well as endstone. So those will be farming in the background. I'll probably just come here occasionally and hit them with the time wand. I am running low on time fluid here, so I'll probably have to refill my wand soon. But while those are working in the background, I want to take a look at what else we're going to need. Because we're going to need to craft these different sort of miniature portals. Now, I think probably the easiest one to start off with is going to be the miniature nether portal, and that's just going to require like obsidian, a wither skeleton skull, a few nether stars, but the thing that we're going to struggle with the most here is the health shelf of Masterful Sight from the Apothic Enchanting mod. Essentially, Apothic Enchanting is a mod that overhauls enchanting, allowing us to basically get extremely overpowered enchantments. It also adds these different types of bookshelves that can actually increase basically the different types of, I guess, magic ability of each of the shelves. There's Eterna, Quanta, and I think the last one's Stella or something? I'm not entirely sure. But the way we get the better bookshelves is actually by enchanting the bookshelves themselves. So this is our current enchanting setup, and it's honestly pretty basic. We're only using pretty much just the vanilla assets. And I think I basically just want to follow along with the quest book here, because it does actually show us a few of the things that we're going to need to craft the All the Mod Star. For example, we need infused Dragon's Breath for one of the portals, worth investing in Apothic Enchanting. And I think I'm actually going to do this down here in the Forbidden Zone, just because we have a decent amount of space to actually experiment with some things. So I'll get our first enchanting table down here. And the first thing that we're going to need to do is craft 11 hell shelves. So we're going to need some potions of regeneration, specifically the 45-second long version, which I think is just the default one, I want to say. So we'll need gas tears for that. Alright, I've brewed up a few of our potions of regeneration, so hopefully that will allow us to craft 11 of these. Okay, we could do 7. We just need some more nether brick. Alright, so there are our 11 hell shelves. I actually needed to go and grab some more blaze rods here. But there's our first step done. And with the rewards from the quest, we actually get 18 total, which is not too bad. So if I remember correctly with this, once we place down 10 of these, we should have enough to infuse these? Not quite yet. Alright, so with all of our shelves minus 2 placed down, we can actually infuse these. So we'll just have to infuse each of these one at a time. Won't be too bad. And we only need to do 8 of these for the quest, so I'm just going to pick these back up. Hopefully that'll complete. We have 7. There should be 8. Here we go. And there's our quest, and we even get 4 more of those. So now we just need to combine 2 of our infused hell shelves with a few other ingredients. We're going to need 4 blocks of gold, a Eye of Ender, a potion of night vision, and a spyglass, oddly enough. So now we can craft our hell shelf of sight. Here we go. And let's see what we need to craft the next step. We should just need some emerald blocks. And there we go. Hell shelf of a masterful sight. Last thing we'll need is some warped nylium. And we can craft our miniature nether portal. Next up, for the miniature end portal, we're going to need to craft some end shelves, which we're going to need infused dragon's breath for. So to get the Eterna that we actually require for the infused dragon's breath, we actually need to convert our infused hell shelves into glowing hell shelves. So we go ahead and do that. And we'll get these placed down again. So now we'll just need to craft some deep shelves. So we'll need some deep slate tiles, and then we just throw these in the furnace to crack them. And now we just need to actually infuse these as well, and that will turn them into regular deep shelves. And we can claim our rewards from that. And now we have a little bit of a split in our progression here. So to get the infused dragon's breath, we're going to need 4 echoing sculk shelves, 4 soul touch sculk shelves, and 6 geode encased bookshelves of stability. And these geode encased bookshelves of stability actually require budding amethyst, and we can actually get that through this mod by just placing some blocks of amethyst inside of the enchanting table. We should have everything that we need for that, so that shouldn't be too bad. Alright, and after tinkering around with this just a little bit here, I found a setup that's kind of good for making these. We're using 6 deep shelves and then 10 sea shelves, and that's enough to craft our budding amethyst. Alright. So we've got 6 of these now, and we should be able to craft our geode encased bookshelves of stability now. Here we go, there's 2. We'll probably need some more calcite. Alright, so we've got our geode encased bookshelves of stability now. So now we need to craft 4 echoing sculk shelves. So we should be able to go, let's see here, these are the bottom ones. So we'll need to craft, I believe it was 4 of these echoing deep shelves. Shouldn't be too bad. We're going to need regular deep shelves for these. Here we go. And then we just need to upgrade these into echoing sculk shelves. These actually require the warden tendril, which drops from the warden. So we might have to go and kill the warden a few times. I'm not entirely sure how many we're going to have. Yep, we only have 2, so we'll probably need to kill the warden a few more times. Alright, and now I'm just crafting a charm of regeneration 2, just to help prepare for the fight a little bit here. And I want to make this thing last forever, so I'm going to place a Aldomadium ingot there in the center, a stellarite piece, 2 X-petrified orbs. Then I think we shift right click, or oh, it should be 3 X petrified orbs actually. Now shift right click. Oh, we actually need the tier 3 Hephaestus Forge. Ours is still only tier 1, so let's go about upgrading this really quick. Alright, to upgrade this, we're going to need 4 spawner scrap, and you just get these from breaking down spawners. We'll need 4 arcane crystals. Now we'll have to actually break these down and replace these with some of our pedestals. So 4 of these arcane crystals, and then an edelwood plank in the center. And I can never remember how to start this. Actually, there's like a hammer, right? The gavel, I think that's how you start it. Possibly? Right, of course, we needed souls for this. So we should be able to get this edelwood back in there. And give it a smack with our hammer. There we go. Also, for some reason, this mod pack updated, and on my middle mouse button, it's actually been sorting all of the items, even the ones that are in the interface. So I keep clicking that to sort my inventory, and it just keeps moving items around, and it's kind of weird. But this shouldn't take too long here. It might take a while. Ah, there we go. So we now have the level 2 Hephaestus Forge. Next up, we're going to need a tier 3. And so we'll need a chiseled polished darkstone, 4 arcane crystals, and 4 diorum. I think we've already gotten all of this stuff before. So we'll get our 4 arcane crystals, 4 diorum, as well as our chiseled polished darkstone in the center. So we'll need to let some Oriole actually build up here. We're also going to need 50 souls as well. Alright, and now we should be able to upgrade our forge into tier 3. Just like that, and now we should be able to craft our Eternal Stella. We needed, I believe it was 3 of these. Yeah, 3, and then a Stellarite piece and a Aldemodium ingot in the center. And it should tell me that I can craft it now. It's not saying it though. Alright, we need to refill this because we just used all of our items here. And there we go. We just needed some more blood and some more Oriole. And that should give us our Eternal Stella. Here we go. And now inside of a smithing table, we can combine our charm, our Eternal Stella, as well as a smithing template. This is a specific one that applies a modifier to equipment. This one's from Forbidden Arcanus, and it just requires some Darkstone. But yeah, here we go. We have our Eternal Charm of Regeneration 2. Now when we shift right click that, you'll notice that it doesn't take any durability. And we now permanently have the regeneration effect. Nice. So that should make fighting off the Warden just a little bit easier. Alright, so I've upgraded my magic missile spell, and I'm just kind of doing some experiments here. Let's see if this works. Oop, that might be a good guy to test this out on. Okay, not exactly the effect I was looking for. This one is just bouncing back and forth. That's kind of weird. Basically what I'm wanting it to do is hit a target. Why is there so many Endermen down here? What the heck? You know, I'm not going to ask questions. I don't think that these guys can be targeted with this spell. So yeah, that's kind of what I was looking for. Yeah, I think that's actually working kind of how I intend. I want it to basically bounce between targets and sort of as it, when it hits a target, it'll split and basically propagate homing again. Maybe I need to do this differently again. I'm going to experiment just a little bit more with this. Alright, I've created a spell that I think will be pretty cool. It's not the exact thing that I wanted, but they actually added a ton of like new particles and stuff that you can modify, so I was playing around with that for a while. Anyway though, I'm going to try to summon the Warden, and I'll try to figure out, here we go. There's one. And by the way, we should only have to kill it once. From one of the quests, we actually got another of the Warden tentacles, so should only have to do one. However, we also have the deep learner with 4 remaining, so depending on how well this goes, I might just do a few more. Okay, is this guy gonna come or what? I feel like he only spawns when you don't need him, but when you do need him, he just never shows up. Let's see, these ones over here, maybe? Okay. Ah, there he is. So yeah, here's my brand new spell. It just summons a bunch of rays all at the same time. They're all homing as well, so I shouldn't miss unless he goes around a corner like that. And... haha, nice. I think we killed him. Yep. That was so easy. So much easier than before. I'm gonna summon him probably a few more times. Did that count towards our deep learner? It did. Okay, nice. Hello. Oh, there he is. I guess we can't harm him while he's coming up for air. But I should be able to do it now. And the one before didn't actually hit me, so I'm wondering if our regeneration's going to be enough. That one-shot him. Okay. Not too bad. The benefit of this is we're also getting these miniature blue hearts, which allows us to increase our hearts eventually. Alright, we managed to kill him a few times, and we gotten a few of these rewards. Honestly, I kind of forgot the whole reason that we were doing that was actually for these warden tendrils. So we needed them to craft a few more of these echoing skulk shelves. Here we go, we needed 4 in total. Next up, we need to craft 4 of these soul-touched deep shelves. And immediately upgrade those into soul-touched skulk shelves. I think that's the right one. So yeah, we needed warden tentacles for this one as well, so that's good to know. So we can claim our rewards from that. And yeah, now we should be able to craft the infused dragon's breath. So we needed 6 of these geode encased bookshelves. So we'll get those down, I guess like that. And then we needed 4 of the echoing skulk shelves. And 4 of these soul-touched skulk shelves. Now if we grab some dragon's breath, we should theoretically be able to do this if we have some lapis. Here we go. And we can craft this recipe now. We actually get 3 of those at a time, so that's good to note. And while I'm here, I'm just going to craft as many as I can. So our next step is to craft the end shelves, which required the infused dragon's breath. And I think we'll need 5 of these in total, so we'll need to craft a few more of these end stone bricks. 3, 4, 5, there we go. And we need to upgrade one of them into the draconic end shelf. And now we can craft everything that we need for the miniature end portal. Last up is going to be the miniature exit portal, which is just going to require one of our soul-touched skulk shelves, which we've already crafted. Yeah, we just need one of these guys, and that should give us the exit portal. After we craft some end crystals, we're going to need a lot more glass than that probably. And here's our miniature exit portal. So we'll get these down here. I believe it was the exit portal, nether portal in the center, end portal on the right side there. Let's just double check. There we go. Now all we need is the compressed blocks. We're still way off for these, so I'm just going to use my time wand to just spend some time here and speeding these up. We're almost out of time fluid again, but I am just going to set up some recipes for these, so when the time comes, we'll actually be able to craft these fairly easily. Alright, we actually have enough emeralds now to craft the block of emerald 4x, so I'm just going to quickly craft that here. Alright, I think I found the dumbest but most entertaining way of mining dirt in this mod pack. Basically, you just vein mine like that with a tool that has infinite durability. You equip the meat feeder from Industrial Foregoing, which for some reason doesn't actually lose any of its charge. So as soon as you have any meat in there, your saturation down here will basically always stay at exactly the same. Which is kind of crazy because we can just infinitely mine like this. And because I have I think it's the running shoes? Yeah, running shoes. We can just mine incredibly quickly. And yep, just keep mining forever. I have 394,819 dirt just from doing it this way. Okay, and I thought that I had enough emeralds for this, but it actually calculates based off of the total blocks of emeralds, not the total emeralds that you have. So I have about a ninth of the amount of emeralds that I actually ended up needing. Which means it's going to be the same thing for the diamonds as well. Alright, so there's absolutely no way that I'm going to be doing all of this manually. It is just going to take way too long, and I just don't have the time or patience to do that. So instead, we're going to set up some extractors, and we're going to need some dripstone. Alright, that should be plenty of dripstone. So we can set these up in such a way that we can generate endstone with the extractor. Looks like it'll take 1.5 seconds each. However, if we have, let's say about 10 of them, and if we speed it up with our time wand, it should be good to go. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. And then I think it was endstone on top of that. Let's just double check. There we go. Yep. Endstone on top of that. Extractors on top of those. And we should see inside of the Wayla, it has the end crystal there, or end stone, not end crystal. Then I'll just place a barrel here at the end, and we'll use some ultimate logistical transporters from Mechanism to pull the end stone out of there. So that should be pretty good. We're getting a decent amount getting in there. Yeah, that's doing pretty good. Then we'll just set up a wireless connector from Extended AE, and we'll have to hook that up later. And we'll set up an import bus, a few of these smart cables. Make sure to go on each side there. That's your import bus already. We got our acceleration cards there. And that should be importing all of this back into the system. It looks like it's actually not... Oh, I was going to say it's not able to keep up, but we have not actually connected it yet. And let's see now. Yep, now it's completely emptying out that chest. Not too bad. Now I'll just do the same thing for netherrack. Unfortunately, we can't do it with dirt. However, we're only about 100,000 dirt short anyway, so that's not going to be too bad. So netherrack is gravel with lava on either side. So I'll lay down a row of gravel. I'll place our extractors down first. And I'll just make sure that the lava can't go anywhere, and then we will just fill these sides up. We should see this begin once we get one on the other side as well. If we see netherrack in there now, nice. And I'm curious. Okay, so if it's flowing lava, it also works. So we actually can save ourselves a little bit of lava here. And unfortunately, these extractors aren't affected by the time wand. Unless we're out. No, we're not out. Yeah, that's one bad thing about it, but it shouldn't be too bad. Another thing that we can try is we do have this quarry here, and I think we have a clearing... Yeah, we have a clearing card on it right now. So instead what I could do is just use a regular shape card fortune. If we go something like that, with that... I don't know if that's going to change it or not. Alright, I messed around with the shape card, and it was actually voiding certain items, so I unselected that, and it is now completely going through and just tearing through this area. I had the time wand on it, and it's just sucking all the power, which is absolutely fantastic. So once it gets further down into like the nether area and the endstone area, we should be seeing that as well, instead of the cobblestone that we're getting right now. Alright, so while we're waiting on all of that as well, I did notice that our crafting storage is probably not going to be big enough to actually handle these crafts. For example, if we pull up the dirt one here, we're going to need 442,000 bytes of crafting storage. We basically have nothing compared to that. We have 73,000. We have kind of a weird number. And I think to solve this issue, I actually want to get into quantum computing, which isn't as complicated as it sounds. However, it is pretty complicated. Essentially, this is going to be able to craft an unlimited amount of crafts at a single time. So for example, currently we have 4 different crafting CPUs. Each one can only process one craft at a time. However, with the quantum computers, we should be able to do multiple requests at a time, and we can even get into way larger numbers as well, like the 128 and 256M quantum computer storages. To get started with this, we're going to need to craft a quantum computer core, which is going to require a few different components. The first one is singularities. We actually already have quite a few singularities, so I'm not all that worried about that. What we also are going to need are shattered singularities. Now we need to use the reaction chamber that we made quite a while ago. We just put a singularity inside of there, 2 ender dust and 2 skystone dust. Really not too bad. We'll go ahead and make a crafting recipe for this. I don't think that we need to specify that we need lava for this. Here we go. And we can put our recipe inside of the reaction chamber. And if I just craft 1, it should craft 2. Now let's hope that this is working. Right, of course. We actually have not set this up to have lava inside. So we'll just do this manually for just right now. There we go. Put a lava bucket in there, and that should complete our craft. And because I actually don't want to do that manually every time, I don't want to have to pour out the water and then dump lava inside, I'm actually going to set up a way for our AE system to automatically register that we have lava. So if we place an extractor basically hanging upside down, almost as if it is its own dripstone, hanging from a dripstone block with the lava on top, we can actually get lava. And I'm simply going to grab a cable and have that set to import. And if we have fluid capacity within our system, we should see lava. Now I was having troubles before. I have updated the mod pack, but yeah, it looks like it's doing fine now. Okay, that's good to know. And we can just speed that up a little bit so that we get lava just a little bit quicker. So now inside of our reaction chamber, we're probably going to actually have to reset all of these recipes and then just add the amount of, I think all of these ones required water. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't think that we're going to be crafting any of those. So if I place that there, I should be able to simply do something like that, and that should overwrite there. Nice. Next up, I am actually going to add a few more recipes here just to make things a little bit more simple. So we'll add a recipe for the next step, which is going to be the computer accelerator. So here we go. I believe, yeah, everything except for this quantum crafting unit is automatically, is already in our system, I should say. So here we go, we'll grab that. Singularities, again, we already have those, so we shouldn't have to worry about those too much. So I should be able to craft this computer accelerator. Let's see if this is working now. And yep, here we go. So our shattered singularity craft did work there, so that's good to know. Next thing up is the 256M quantum computer storage. So we'll go ahead and add a recipe for that. And then we'll also need 2 of the 128M quantum computer storages. Oops. Here we go. And these require quantum storage components. So let's see. There we go. And then we'll need these quantum processors as well, which is an inscriber recipe. However, we could also do it inside of the crystal assembler, so we should do that instead. And I'll make sure to put that in there right now because I will definitely forget in the future. So let's see, we also needed these, and so we need the 2 to the 3rd power spatial components. Whoops, we're not on the right page. That was in here, I think. Here we go. And everything here is automated. We technically have glowstone automated. It's a little bit iffy right now though, but that should be everything that we need for that. So we'll get these in our pattern access terminal inside of one of our crafters. Okay, and I thought that I actually set up a recipe for the skystone dust in the past, but I guess I didn't, so I'll need to do that as well. I think I'll just have it run through our mechanism system. I think that'll be the most simplest. We can get skystone like that. Oh, and we can actually get skystone dust from extractors now. I don't think that that recipe actually existed before. So let's craft this Schrodinger, I can never remember how to pronounce that. This water block. All right, I'm gonna borrow the lava from this one here. Whoop, definitely don't let that go through. Okay. So it should be, let's see here. We need the, where did my skystone just go? So we'll put the skystone here in the center, the water block on that side, extractor up top, and yep, we see that it is producing skystone, so we should just need some more of these logistical transporters, and there we go, we have skystone automated now. Alright, and I'm gonna have to actually add a few more crafting recipes here, because I realize that it is actually, it requires these quantum alloys, for the, I believe it was the quantum processor. So we need to make the quantum alloys, which require 4 of these shattered singularities, 4 regular singularities. And then we're also going to need a quantum infusion, which is a liquid that you get from the reaction chamber. Basically, you put water inside as well as a quantum infused dust. The quantum infused dust is just a shattered singularity inside of a inscriber. Alright, let's see if I've done this correctly. Okay, so we're going to need a lot more singularities. That's something that we'll have to work on. Let's just try to make maybe like 2 for now. Here we go. So it should begin by, I think, putting something in that inscriber and then making this inside of the reaction chamber. And, okay, so the quantum infused dust actually requires no no press on it, so actually it should go in that one instead. So that should, okay, I think that finished our recipe. Cool. All right, so unfortunately this episode is taking a little bit too long to record, as this item that we're crafting, the dimensional seed, it requires a lot of time. Currently, I'm working on the Dirt 6X, which is 531,000 blocks of dirt. It's going to take about an hour with our current crafting system. Unfortunately, I was trying to do the quantum crafting stuff. However, it would take even longer to do all of that. So, yeah, I'm kind of stuck with this. So I think what I'm going to do is just let it run for a bit. I have the Dirt 6X working right now. I have the End Stone one, I believe it was this one. Yeah, we have the End Stone 5X that we completed earlier. The Netherrack, we're at about half of what we need so far, and then we still need to break it down, and, or I should say, we still need to craft it up into the 6X version of it. Obsidian, we're basically not even, I think we're about 1/10 of what we need. Same with the diamonds and emeralds. So I think I'm gonna have to leave things there for right now, and then pick things up when we get back in the next episode. I do apologize, I was trying to get the dimensional seed done in one episode. However, this has been easily the grindiest component of the All the Mods Star. So unfortunately, it will take us a couple of episodes. Honestly, probably next episode, we will jump into one of the other ones, and then just, yeah, just wait for the dimensional seed stuff to just populate in the background. But yeah, I'm going to leave things there for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace.